Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is CAMFATH and today's video is going to be all about rifle reloads, specifically the AR and M4 style rifle reload. Now, I've been using an AR style rifle intimately for over a decade. I've picked up a few things throughout the years that I think will assist you and hope that will assist you becoming a better rifle shooter. So today in the video, we are going to cover 3 different stock placements for reloads. I'm gonna go over my personal preferences and we're gonna explain the pros and the cons of each to let you decide which style is best for you. Before we do that though, I'm gonna do a quick shout out to the biggest supporters of this channel, my sponsors. So if you wanna skip through that and miss out on exclusive coupon codes that'll save you some cash for some pretty cool products out there, go ahead and do it. But if you're still here, let's talk about it. First sponsor I'd like to shout out is, boom, TOOR Knives. Exceptionally well-made knives. If you are a gun person, you are probably also into knives, or at least can appreciate a very well-made blade. This in my hands is the Mullet blade by TOOR Knives. These guys are all made in the USA, veteran owned and operated, as well as employers of numerous veterans that just make exceptional knives. If you are interested in picking up a blade, they have a plethora of different styles to include folders and fixed blades like this Mullet in my hand. Check out TOOR Knives, and if you want to save money on free shipping, use the code CAMFATH and save some money on that shipping. Next sponsor I'd love to shout out is Oakley Standard Issue. I've been rocking Oakleys for just as long as I've been shooting the AR style platform. They are the eye protection and clothing that I trust and absolutely love. If you're looking to save an additional 15% on your order through Oakley Standard Issue. Now, you have to be a first responder or military to make an account with them. So if you are one of those people and looking to save an additional 15%, now if there's something that's 50% on the website, you can get 65% off by using this code. Use the code CAM15 and it'll save you a lot more money on some new dope Oakleys to wear to the range or just around town to make you look like the stud you are. And final, last but not least sponsor I want to shout out, and you're probably going to see a lot of them today, is EOTech. Now, I'm extremely proud to be affiliated with such a prominent member of the firearm industry. EOTech has been around for decades, providing some of the most high quality and widely used optics on firearms. I've used their EOTech holographic sight throughout my entire military time. I have the EOTech Voodoo LPVO on here with the E-Flex reflex sight. So if you're looking to save 10% on a EOTech order, use the code CAMFATH10 and we'll save you some money. And it's not just some money, it could be hundreds of dollars if you use that. Just saying. So that's all for my sponsors. Big shout out to them. If you guys want to save some money, use those coupon codes. It supports the channel and it continues to allow me to put out this educational content for you. Now that we've got our sponsor shout outs out of the way, let's talk about where I am, right? I'm not on the range. I'm not shooting real ammo. I'm in my studio right now. That's because all of these techniques can be learned, trained, and drilled right from the safety of your home utilizing dry fire. Dry fire is an excellent tool to increase your shooting performance without ever having to dedicate the time or ammo or money to go to the range and shoot real rounds. It is my personal belief that 90% of all manipulations with rifle and even pistol and a lot of other weapon systems can be done safely and effectively in your own home. The live fire range or the flat range is for you to confirm whether or not the dry fire you're doing at home is effective, right? So I encourage you, this isn't one of those don't try this at home type of things. This is one of those try these at home. However, be safe when you do it. Whenever we're dry firing, we want to make sure that we are clearing, identifying there is no live ammo in our weapon system and that all the mags that we will be shooting with or training with today do not contain any leftover ammo from a firing range that we may have been to, or maybe you stockpile loaded mags. We're not touching those, right? We're doing everything safely and in a controlled environment. So let's talk about the reloads. You're shooting, boom, you get a recoil impulse, boom, recoil impulse, boom. You feel something different than what you've typically felt, right? It doesn't really feel like a push-pull. It just feels like a push inside your shoulder. That lets you know, hey, my gun's probably out of ammunition, right? So boom, get a slight push. There is a very debated topic right now, and as we're gonna go through the reloading process, we're gonna talk about these things, right? So first and foremost, do we put the gun on safe as we reload? Now, there are a lot of people that say yes, and there are a lot of people that say no. I personally put my gun on safe, the reason being mitigating bad things that could happen, right? Especially when in a stressful environment, under fatigue, you typically make careless mistakes. By placing the gun on safe, I believe, prevents those from happening. Although it does add tenths of a second to the speed of your reload, it can prevent negligent discharges, and it just makes things a lot more controlled, right? We want to be in charge. I'm a firm believer that we want to be in charge of this gun, and the gun isn't going to be in charge of us, right? So that's why I believe putting the gun on safe as you're going to reload, right? But I completely understand the argument of the opposing side, right? The opposing side, do we need to put our gun on safe? No, because why? We're out of bullets, right? It's the same thing with my Glock. My Glock does not have a safety other than the little safety on the trigger. I keep the gun safe by keeping it pointed in a safe direction and taking my finger completely off the trigger, right? Why can't that train of thinking be applied to the rifle? Well, it can, and I believe you can absolutely do it if you are chasing speed, right? If you were in a performance-oriented kind of sporting style of shooting, like USPSA style matches or performance matches, right? So I don't typically think you need to put your gun on safe if you were doing that. However, if you were doing this for your profession, you are under kit, you are going through a large course of fire that's very lengthy, I believe you should put it on safe, right? Especially if you are using a bad lever. If you don't know what a bad lever is, it's just a device that attaches to your bolt release, comes down into your trigger, and allows you to release your bolt with your trigger finger. If you are using one of those and you are keeping your gun on fire, I highly recommend you put it on safe, just because if you're putting your finger anywhere near this trigger guard when you're doing a reload, I definitely think you can have a possible ND waiting to happen. So that's my personal preference. That's all I'm going to say about putting your safety on while reloading, and we're going to move on, right? If you have your opinions about it, get down in the comment section. I'd love to see some healthy debates down there, right? So moving right along. We feel the push and we don't feel the pull. I place my gun on safe. Now I'm doing two things at once. A lot of people, especially when they're newer, like to compartmentalize this process, meaning they place the gun on safe, they drop the mag, they grab their new mag, they insert it, they send the bolt release, reacquire the sights, place it on fire, and bang, right? There's nothing wrong with this when you're learning, but as we get better, we start to want to combine steps, right, to make it more efficient and make it ultimately a lot faster. And that's what we're chasing here for a reload, is speed, right? But if we can blend speed and efficiency together to create a perfect product, that's what I personally like to strive for, right? So when it comes to reload styles, there are three techniques that are pretty predominant in the industry right now, at least in the training industry, and they all have to do with stock placement while you're reloading. Let's start with the fastest reload style, and it is stock never leaves my shoulder. The pros of having the buttstock never leave your shoulder is it's minimal movement, right? If you ever talk to any grandmaster shooters or just really, really proficient shooters, all of them agree unnecessary movement is the true killer of speed. The cons of never taking the buttstock out of my shoulder is it's essentially a very muscle fatigue inducing type of reload, right? I am fully supporting the weight of my rifle with my firing hand. It's literally me bicep curling this gun. Now, obviously my rifle being a 16-inch barrel, we have accessories on the end, we have a large optic on here. It's not the lightest gun in the world. If you have a shorter barrel, it might be cake for you and you're saying, this isn't a problem for me. If you're a performance shooter and your rifle's super lightweight, that might be super easy for you. But if you are, in a military capacity, you have a long gun, you have the new XM7 by SIG or something, and you're an infantry guy and you're just always heavy, this reload style might not be beneficial to you. The second reload I'm going to be demonstrating is kind of a hybrid between the first and the last, right? I'm taking the buttstock out of my shoulder and I'm actually placing it not too far away, but in my bicep, the crook of my bicep. By doing this, I'm now creating almost like a splint for the rifle, or at least wedging the rifle in my bicep. It's a lot easier to pull that into my bicep, which adds the rifle to my forearm. Now I'm not just kind of curling it like I'm all in my wrists when I'm not leaving my shoulder. Everything's in my wrist and I'm trying to pull it into my shoulder. However, when I put it in my bicep, it's a lot more supported, and now it feels as if the rifle is an extension of my forearm. I feel it in my forearm, my bicep, and my wrist versus just my wrist trying to pull that thing into my shoulder. So I'm generating a lot more leverage like this. Now, the cons, obviously I'm gonna have to make more movement in the gun. I have to break the gun down a little bit more. But the pros are the leverage created, right? The support that I'm generating to hold that gun for a longer period of time. Now, the last reload technique I'm going to demonstrate is breaking the gun all the way down. Essentially, as I come off, I'm burying the buttstock between my arm and my lat, right? So I'm wedging it between my arm in my armpit, essentially. And now, all I have to do is drop it, set, and return back here, right? As you can see, you can do that reload really quick, right? Just because we are taking it completely out of your shoulder, we're wedging it, doesn't necessarily mean it's a slow way to reload. Pros of this is now I'm generating the most amount of leverage. I can hold my gun in this position for a very long time, right? I can support it here. I can still shoot from here if I need to, from compression, right? As I push out, bang, 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 I can still shoot. My magazine doesn't have to travel really that far of distance, which is a pro to the bicep as well. So instead of bringing my magazine all the way up here, all I have to do is bring it down there, less distance for the mag to travel. The con is it's not as quick because I'm doing a lot more movement. This is probably my preferred style of reload just because I'm thinking about the long game, right? And how I visualize reloading techniques is I think about it like a race, like a foot race, right? If I am buttstock in the shoulder at all times, I'm sprinting, right? This is what I see a lot of USPSA style shooters that are going for max speed. They're probably gonna never let it leave the shoulder because they wanna be on target as fast as possible. They want the fastest possible reload. However, those style of matches only last a minute, maybe 30 seconds to a couple minutes. When on the flip side, if I'm doing a live fire like an infantry guy and I have been bounding for half a mile, quarter mile, and I'm super fatigued and I've been holding the rifle up for God knows how long, I'm definitely going to want to utilize all the advantage here to reduce that muscle fatigue, right? So it's completely up to you to decide what reload style works for you. And there's nothing that says you can't do a combination of both depending on the scenario, right? So maybe starting off, having it never leave your shoulder and then transitioning to bringing it underneath as I start to have muscle fatigue set in. So that's completely up to you. So those are the 3 different stock placements. Let's talk about how we grab the mag, because to me, however we have the mags stored in the pouches are going to influence our reload, right? So based off the orientation of our mags, and orientation meaning whether it's facing to the rear or facing to the front, how we grab the mag is going to affect our ability to put it in the gun, right? So I have friends that orient the mags facing forward like this, just like a regular pistol mag would be. Bullets would be facing this way, just like my pistol mag bullets face this way. When I'm teaching guys, I say bullets facing towards my balls, right? Because balls being the center line of my body. But some people really like, we call the index grab, right? Where just like they're shooting pistol, how they would grab their pistol magazine is not a plick or a pluck it out of the pouch, but a nice sweep that allows them to get a good index on the front of that mag with their pointer finger, which gives them a good visual reference point because they just have to point inside their mag well, right? Well, this can also be applied to the rifle. So as they're reloading, they sweep down, get a good index on that magazine that allows them to point it, seat, send it forward, and reacquire the target. So the pros to the index grab is I'm basically grabbing the mag the same way I'm grabbing my pistol mags. I'm creating a standard throughout my, my magazine grab, right? So I prefer a different technique. I prefer what we call a beer can grip, and that is essentially, instead of having the bullets facing that way, I'm turning my mag and now my bullets face to the rear, right? How I grab isn't with my index finger. I grab palm down and I grab palm facing my hip, almost like I'm just touching my magazine. So then I'm pulling the mag out, rotating it forward with a thumbless grip. I'm kind of giving a thumbs up to my mag, right? So the reason I like to grab my mag that way is as I'm here, as you can see, my thumb is now very close to this bolt release, right? Versus an index where I'm here and I have to travel up to hit this bolt release. My beer can grip is almost right there, right? I'm probably 2 inches closer to the bolt release as a right-handed shooter. If you're a left-handed shooter, the beer can grip might not be effective for you, right? Because you're dropping the bolt with your trigger finger. Now, most of the reloads I've been doing have been coming from my emergency reload on my belt, right? And you might be asking yourself, well, what if I have like a chest rig or a plate carrier and I'm reloading from them? Where it might change based on the type of pouch that you're using. So on my belt, obviously I have a mag pouch that is very exposed. I have a Haley TRMP on my plate carrier, which exposes a lot of this magazine, right? So the magazine has at least a good 4 or 5 inches, enough for my almost entire hand to grab onto that mag, right? If your mag pouch is only exposed the top end, it's gonna be kind of difficult to get a good grip on that with a beer can. You might be forced to do an index, but your pouches will dictate how you reload. So pay attention to that. And if you need to index in some and beer can in the others, train that. Don't just work from your belt every single time to reload. Do at least a couple repetitions from each position. Do like 5 to 10 from your belt, 5 to 10 from your far left, 5 to 10 from the middle, 5 to 10 from the right, and do that as your dry fire routine. Those are really 2 popular ways to grab your mag, and they will absolutely influence your ability to send that bolt forward, which puts the gun into play, right, and allows you to start re-engaging again. Last but not least, hitting our bolt release. After inserting the mag, my immediate focus should shift. The second the mag is able to get past my mag well, right, because some people struggle with finding it, but the second I feel it slide in, I should immediately be transitioning to the bolt release, right? Some people like to hit, right? That's old school, nothing wrong with it. However, if you have padded gloves on, sometimes if you don't have a flat palm, right, it may be difficult for you to hit the bolt release. I've experienced this, I've done this. You don't want this, right? So it might be a little bit more beneficial to just hit with your thumb. Just hit with your thumb, and then same thing, hit with your thumb and drive that support hand back, wedge the gun, and then get to work, right? Some people, especially newer shooters, kind of have that pistol mentality, or they learn on a pistol where they reinsert the mag and they're taught the slingshot method where they come over the top, rack it, and then present out and shoot. and they bring that style of reload to the rifle, where they insert the mag and they think they have to rack the charging handle to get it back into action. This can work, but it's just very inefficient, especially when you have your bolt release right there, right? So that's pretty much it, folks. That's reloading in a nutshell. If you are a left-handed shooter, some of these techniques may be a little bit different. Like I said, the beer can grip might not be as effective if you're running a normal-ish receiver. However, there are a lot of newer technologies and advancements out there that accommodate left-handed shooters very well, right? And you do have some benefits of being a lefty on a righty platform, like being able to hit that bolt release with your trigger finger. But regardless, pick one of these techniques, try it out, see if it works for you, and if it doesn't, try the other, see if it works for you, and if it doesn't, try the other, see if it works for you, and if it doesn't, I don't know what to tell you. Just kidding. I hope this video provided some educational information that'll help you become a better shooter. That is my mission, to give you guys information that will just make you better at shooting, because this is such an important skill, not only as an American, but as a protector, right? So guys, gals, if you like this video, let me know by giving it a thumbs up. Get that in the comment section. Let me know what technique is your preference, and if maybe there's a technique that you've discovered that I didn't cover in this video that you think could benefit other shooters, put it down there in the comment. I'd love to see it. If you guys want to see more content from me, make sure you are subscribed to this channel. I'm doing my best to pump out content just like this. So if you like it, subscribe and hit that notification bell so you are notified whenever I upload a new video. Share this video with your friends that's struggling on finding reloads. And another big shout out to my sponsors. If you guys want to save some money from them, check out those coupon codes in the beginning of the video, and I'll also put them in the description down below. And as always, stay safe out there. Thank you. See you on the next one.